5 on Your Sideline is sponsored by Seidenstricker Nobi John Deere.
Welcome into 5 on Your Sideline. I'm Corey Miller, and it's that magical time of the year. Yes, the holiday season, but I'm talking about that football and basketball overlap on the high school sports calendar. It's the best time for prep sports, and we've got all our bases covered tonight. First, some hoops. It's the Mascoutah Tip-Off Classic in Collinsville, and Riverview Gardens matched up tonight. First, it's 6'8" Zach Chambers going to work for Collinsville. He's going to be a problem in the paint this year. Riverview Gardens has some skills too. Justin Barsh nails the step back J. Nice play there. But the K-Hawks look to be good again like they usually are. This is Nick Horace on the fast break. Collinsville wins 65-31 tonight. Now the host, Mascoutah, taking on Marion. We've shown Quincy Hall making plays on the football field this year, and now he's doing it on the basketball court. That's a nice shot for 3. And later on, it's going to be Ian Tompkins from the other corner for another 3. He gets that one to go. Indians get the tournament win on their home court, 57-47 over Marion. Now let's talk some high school football, and the big day is tomorrow. We have 2 area teams playing for all the marbles in state title games, and a bunch of other schools trying to punch their tickets to the title game. And there's no shortage of storylines. This is one of the best right here. St. Dominic Crusaders, they are in the state semifinals for the very first time ever. St. Dominic will host West Plains on Saturday to head to the state finals, but this wasn't always a sure bet for a great season. The Crusaders were 3-5 at one point this year before digging deep and turning their fortunes around.
We had a really strong senior nucleus, and those kids, to their credit, they really flipped their attitude, and we could see about week 8 going into MICDS game. The coaching staff, players, everybody, we just got a lot more positive with it, understood the talent that we had, and if we started paying attention to details better, we could put ourselves in this position.
On the other hand, here's a program that lives in the state finals. East St. Louis came up a win short of a 10th state title last year, but they're back for another shot tomorrow, and they'll be taking on the team they beat to win it all back in 2019, Crystal Lake Prairie Ridge. And since the Flyers are no stranger to the spotlight, Coach Sunkett expects them to be cool, calm, and collected when they go for that championship on Saturday.
The good thing is these guys been there before. You know, I mean, we're pretty much returning just about our whole team back from last year. And then some of these guys actually started on that 2019 team. So, you know, these guys, you know, they've got a bunch of experience when it comes to this. So it's, once that whistle blows, like I've been telling these guys, it's going to be like any ordinary game from back when you was 9 years old when you first started playing football, and just treat it that way.
Here's a look at the full slate of games tomorrow. East St. Louis and CBC are the 2 schools going for state championships. Duchesne, Cardinal Ritter, Francis Howell, St. Mary's, and St. Dominic, they're still in the semifinals.
Tackle Hunger is sponsored by Neighbors Credit Union. Here you belong.
All year long, our Tackle Hunger initiative in partnership with Neighbors Credit Union to benefit Operation Food Search has helped make people's lives better in the St. Louis area. And now as our campaign winds down, after collecting more than 44,000 pounds of food for those in need, we shine a light on one of the biggest stars of the campaign. With the help of producer Annie Moeller, here's Frank Cusimano.
At Edwardsville High School, giving back isn't just for the holidays.
It starts early on. You know, the teachers do a great job of, you know, teaching kids how to be compassionate and how to share.
When the Tigers accepted our Tackle Hunger Challenge, they delivered. But one student, Will Wochesick, really took the project to heart.
The school had a flyer that was handed out to everyone. I took that flyer and then went down to the print shop that's just right down the road from here and printed off 500 copies in hot pink color. This was the first time I really even done like my own food drive. I didn't really know what to expect.
And when this aspiring engineer rolled up to school with his contribution, he got quite a reaction.
It blew me away. I didn't know that he was doing this collection.
Some of the items people gave us, they were not like in bags, they were just like whole cases and cartons of canned goods.
Thinking it'd be, you know, 1 or 2 bags, and you open up the trunk and it's like, yeah, we're gonna need a lot more hands.
I did get a lot of reaction. I feel like I may have also kick-started us.
They were very impressed with what Will did.
The school generated over 4,500 pounds of food donations. Nearly 1,000 of that came from Will.
I just want to help some people, help them get through.
He's a very mature young man that knows what he wants in life, and you know, he goes about doing what he needs to do so he can reach that next goal.
Great story. Speaking of tackle hunger, it was the students at Lutheran St. Charles who collected the most food of any of our Game of the Week schools. We helped honor them with Neighbors Credit Union earlier this week, and Neighbors had one last surprise for Operation Food Search. You see the big check right there. The generosity this year led us to blow past our original goal and is going directly to people who need assistance.
We set what we thought was a lofty goal of 40,000 or 20 tons of food, and we blew past that. We got 22 tons of food, more than 44,000 pounds of food donated.
It's amazing, seriously. I have never been here before, so walking in and just seeing that like this is where our food was going and this is how they were making a difference was really cool to see.
Up next, we're taking a trip back in time for a history lesson on one of our town's oldest sports traditions. You'll want to stick around. While the playoff football games may be tomorrow, our area's most historic football game of the year was yesterday. Of course, I'm talking about the Kirkwood versus Webster Groves annual Turkey Day game. You see the highlights behind me from Kirkwood's 56-7 win. But that history that goes into this yearly matchup is something almost no other rivalry in the country can match. With the help of producer Andy Moeller, here's Frank Cusimano once again with your holiday history lesson.
Thanksgiving has its traditions. Family, turkey, pumpkin pie, and naps. But in St. Louis, two neighboring communities can add football to that list. Webster Groves and Kirkwood have met on the gridiron for well over a century and played on Thanksgiving Day since 1928. And since 1952, it's been about one thing: the ringing of the Frisco Bell. The game was already a community staple when Channel 5 hit the air in 1947. But it wasn't the only prep game contested on Thanksgiving. In the early 1960s, our cameras caught the now-closed DeAndres High School playing on Thanksgiving one year at Sportsman's Park. But eventually, the Webster-Kirkwood game had the day to themselves, not only in St. Louis, but it's also the last ongoing Turkey Day game west of the Mississippi. How important is the game to the players? In 1978, Webster turned down an opportunity to play in the state tournament so as not to affect the Turkey Day game.
It's rough. You know, we train all year, and I'd rather play for a state championship than a Turkey Day bill.
That was remedied in future years by allowing the JV squads to play on Turkey Day. In 1982, the game was postponed by a snowstorm and played on the following Saturday. But that's not the most vivid memory Kirkwood legend Alvin Miller has of that game.
My helmet wouldn't snap. I came to the sideline to switch helmets with someone to get their helmet. What I didn't do was switch mouthpieces. Therefore, I had to put someone else's mouthpiece in my mouth. But I still scored a touchdown, but I didn't bite the mouthpiece too hard.
It's had its share of fantastic finishes. In 1995, Webster staged a late comeback to win it 36-35. And 10 years later, the Statesmen went for two late in the fourth quarter and connected for a heart-stopping win.
All these kids I'm talking to at Kirkwood and Webster have fathers and grandfathers and uncles, and some of them have cousins playing for the other teams.
The tradition has drawn national attention from the likes of Sports Illustrated and ESPN. Kirkwood has dominated in recent years, winning 8 in a row. But in the battle for the bell, every year's a new year.
Well, from that rivalry to the Battle Line rivalry, and that trophy is back in the hands of Mizzou. You want to stick around to see how the Tigers celebrated tonight. Coming into today, Mizzou was 6-2 against Arkansas in the Battle Line rivalry since joining the SEC. In fact, they never lost a Battle Line rivalry game at home. They needed that trend to continue today to reclaim the trophy and climb into bowl eligibility. Brady Cook sure came ready to play. He threw for 242 yards and rushed for 138 yards, including this nice touchdown. Cook also found the freshman Luther Burden III, who turned this play into a highlight reel score like he knows how to do so well. The defense stepped up in the second half, and the Tigers hang on. They win 29-27 over Arkansas to take back the Battle Line Trophy and reach the 6-win threshold for bowl eligibility. Coach Drinkwitz, how are you and the fellas celebrating?
And this is a cigar game. You win this one, you get to celebrate it. So told the boys that I'd bought 150 cigars. Will, I hope that's not against NCAA compliance rules. If it is, we got to write it up right now. But I said, we win this game, boys. That's my mindset. We're smoking a victory cigar. So, and it's good too, man. It's actually not a great cigar, but it's the best one I've ever had.
The Blues took on the familiar grin of Pat Maroon in the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. This was a chippy one. Robert Bortuzza gets bumped into Andre Vasilevsky, and the entire Lightning team wants to go fight him. Blues were battling from behind the whole time in this one. Jordan Kyrou made it a 1-goal game with that score right there, but it wouldn't be enough. Tampa wins 5-2. Blues have lost 2 games in a row. And that'll do it for 5 on Your Sideline tonight. Be sure to join us tomorrow at 5, 6, and 10 for a big day of high school football playoffs. Have a great night, St. Louis.
St. Louis says, this is why I came to Missouri. His 8th touchdown of the year. Looking to throw, looking long, looking for...
5 on Your Sideline was sponsored by Seidenstricker Nobi John Deere.